NC State, Wake Forest. How do you break this game down?
Well, again, we talked about early in the season, don't overreact because we really don't know if the teams were that bad and the opponent was that good or vice versa. But let's look at what the teams do. NC State took care of East Carolina in their opener 24-17, but they failed to cover as they were a 14-point home favorite and only had a 10-yard edge in their home opener. They did go to Virginia last week. They were a small favorite. They did host Virginia last week. They were a small favorite covering that 2.5-point spread, 35-31. The major issue for NC State is the defense. They allowed East Carolina to pass for 383 yards. And last week against Virginia, not a team known for their offense, they allowed 257 yards rushing and 8.0 yards per carry. Last week in that game against Virginia, they actually trailed by 10 at the halftime, scored 21 points in the third quarter, and held the Cavaliers scoreless to get that win. NC State has a very good O-line. Their starters have 111 career starts, and of course, they're led by C.J. Bailey, who came in last season after an injury. His nickname, Baby Giraffe, the 6'6" mobile quarterback, can move the chains. I look at Wake Forest. Wow, week one was a shock. 10-9 as a 19-point favorite against Kennesaw State and only a 348 to 307-yard edge. Last week against Western Carolina, they were a 19-point favorite. They did take advantage of that weaker foe, winning 42-10 with a 542 to 238-yard edge. Wake Forest with their new head coach, Dicko, he was the DC at Wyoming. What do you think of Wyoming after Josh Allen left? They ran the ball. They played stout defense. I look at Wake Forest now. They pulled the upset as a 4.5-point dog last year in this series. And I look at them, and I think with them wanting to run the ball and them trying to slow the pace. Now, again, I can tell you this. Wake Forest has allowed 50% pass completions on the season. Wake Forest has allowed 2.5 yards per carry on the season. But I'd also have to tell you this. Wake Forest has played the number 133 schedule. When you play both games at home and you're a touchdown of almost 3 favorites, you really don't know how to quantify those stats. But a couple surprising TNA numbers here. I don't cherry pick games. Like game 1 and game 2 are significant. Game 5, game 6 to game 7, I think there's just randomness in there. But I did find it interesting because NC State played a conference game last week in game 2, and now they're playing game 3. They're only the 9th team in the last 10 years to play a conference game week 2 and win it, and then play a road conference game in week 3. Those teams only 1-7 against the spread. NC State did cover 3 of their last 4 road games last season. No, they covered their last 3 and 4 of their last 5. But they haven't been an away favorite of more than a point since 2023. And they've lost 7 straight as an away favorite against the spread. Again, no situations last year, so I really don't take that much into consideration. But how about this? Thursday home dogs in game 2. Game 3 and Game 4, the first month of the season, only 1-10-1 ATS and 0-10 against the spread as a dog of 2 or more. So I don't want to play the North Carolina State side. I don't want to play the Wake Forest side. And I do want to share this from the Gold Sheet newsletter. Guys, it is the perfect complement if you have your favorite handicapper that you use at Wager Talk, or if you're just doing your own handicapping, make sure you check out the Gold Sheet. Listen to what they put in about this game. After the game, Coach Dickert said, it's been a marathon day. They had a 6-hour game with 2 major time delays, and he says that's not what you want to hear when you're preparing for a short week against a conference opponent that's hungry for revenge. Thank you for that note, the Gold Sheet. With that said, I am going to go North Carolina State team total under 30.5. We have Wake Forest, again, 78 runs, 54 passes, home for a 3rd straight game. NC State playing their first road game of the season, playing back-to-back conference games. Again, under team total for the Wolfpack for Thursday night. I will have a 5% NFL teaser loaded by Thursday morning. Probably get it done tonight. Let me tell you this. That is $35. The Weekend Warriors Saturday and Sunday football, that is $49. So for $14 more, you're getting all of my plays. My 4% and 5% football plays, 21-4, 84%. My NFL teasers, 4% and higher, 7-0 and 14-1, 93% since November 2023. And last year in the NFL, 5%, a perfect 5-0.